Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader, your personal guide to a clearer perspective. I've got a message for Capricorn. This is your message from the universe, your beneficial and abundant message from the universe. And as we go, I'm going to keep asking for information from my guides. So Capricorn, right off the bat, this is hard for me to talk to you about this because we're talking about something that you're burying, that you're keeping hidden. And as we go, I want to just encourage you to start feeling or exploring the possibility of being okay with letting go of some of that self-protection. So let's go ahead and get started. The universe is giving you the 10 of Wands. This is a tough card. We're talking about extra burdens to carry, extra responsibilities, and you may be feeling like you've got so much on your plate, but then like 3 more things come. And this is also talking about that pattern that is your tendency, which is to take on a lot more than is actually yours. It's almost like you want the way to be harder for yourself. And so you willingly invite some of these complications or burdens or things which really aren't necessarily yours to pick up. You know, it's interesting because in this beautiful green landscape, he can't even really enjoy the abundance and its beauty because he's so overwhelmed with what he's carrying and the strength it requires to carry it. So, you know, he's not even allowed to kind of enjoy the world, enjoy being in it. So, you know, interestingly enough, you respond with the Sun card. And this says to me the idea of performing, the idea of persona, that it's easier to hold this feeling in private. It's easier to acknowledge that feeling in private because on the surface, everyone is expecting you to show up a certain way, to show up with that sun shining, to show up with a smile on your face as if nothing's wrong, as if everything's okay. It's almost like you're having to project a sunnier disposition than what you're feeling. So you're feeling one way inside and you've got something else on your face. And it's almost like wearing a mask a little bit. So that whole idea of crying inside, but then having a happy, smiley face on. So the sun energy it's part of the burden actually, because the strain of having to keep up a certain appearance is starting to kind of hit you. It's starting to kind of wear on you. And that in itself is also becoming another burden. You'll see how these 2 cards are kind of, this one flows into this one, is facing into that way. So, you know, be aware of that as well, because the need to hold up that certain persona, that's becoming a hard responsibility, is because your other responsibilities and burdens are increasing. So let's look at the rest of this story. We have some interesting things going on. We've got the Princess of Cups, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, and then this Knight of Wands is riding into the Knight of Pentacles. So this Princess here of Cups is talking about that emotional self, that tender, vulnerable emotional self that is connected to her emotions. And because these emotions aren't being allowed to, they're not being acknowledged and they're not coming out, they're just they're being repressed. If I'm quite frank with you, these emotions are being repressed and they're not being allowed to, the energy's not being allowed to come out. This is further exacerbated by this Prince of Pentacles. So he's protecting her, but he's also protecting himself. And it's this idea of overprotection that isn't allowing the emotional movement to really come out. I learned a couple weeks ago that emotion really means energy in motion, energy trying to come out, energy E, like exit. So the energy is trying to come out, but this Knight of Pentacles blocks it. And this card, he cracks me up and he drives me crazy because he's a knight. He's supposed to be going out on a purpose, on a mission, but he's not moving. You see how he's not moving at all? He's standing still and he's hiding his face. I mean, what brave knight hides their face? So he's this idea of hiding something, of keeping something hidden in the back, and it's very clear what it is. It's this tender emotional self is not being allowed to come out. Yet, this is coming in to challenge you. I feel like there's an outside coming in to challenge you, whether it's going to be a circumstance or a person or just an energy from the universe that comes at you that's really going to challenge this position you're trying to hold. This is energy in motion, right? This is fire energy moving forward. He's moving straight to here. He wants to get to her to help unlock those feelings that have been repressed and to help that emotional energy move out. Because in allowing that emotional energy to move out, you actually come to a sense of clarity, that you know exactly which burdens are yours and exactly which ones aren't. What is yours to hold up and what is yours not to hold up. And in releasing those things that you don't need to be holding up, you get to actually enjoy the landscape. Instead of just pretending to be okay, you get to enjoy your life. You get to enjoy being in it. And I want to jump straight to your advice, which is the Tower. Now, the Tower is that idea of breaking down, of burning, of destroying, of releasing, breaking apart a structure that is no longer serving you. And what this is right now is this whole energy that we described here. This block, this earthly kind of block, hiding, protecting, holding down, not allowing that emotional energy to come out. That is what the lightning is going to strike in this card and break apart. And look, can you see there's two little figures? One is in red and one is in blue. And look where they're headed. They're headed for the water. So this is waiting to come out. Your emotions are waiting for you to tap into them, to touch into them, and to understand and to learn from them. It's almost like this emotional release has to take place in order for the clarity to come out. And that may be part of what he's afraid of, because you see he's also holding that shield over his heart. It's kind of like this, so his face and his heart. There's a fear of what that emotional release will do or what it will look like, but I'm here to reassure you that it's okay, that you're strong enough, that this is the time. You're not going to fall apart and you're not going to lose anything. In fact, you're going to gain such a bigger quality of life. You're going to regain that joy and that lightness that you've seen in others, that you know is yours, that you wish could be yours actually. And it is yours. But the scary part here is being able to let go enough of those emotions, enough of those things, and to just let them out so that you can find that sense of clarity. So, yikes. Big scary message. And what's scary for me is that, I have no idea who I'm giving this message to. And if this were a private reading, then I could, kind of see how you're doing with this message. But because that's not what we're supposed to be doing, there's a reason why it's happening this way. That's what I'm trying to say. So all I can say to you is that you are ready and you're strong enough to go this direction, even though it's scary. And yeah, that's basically all I can, that's I think all I have to say about that. Yeah, after such a big, profound reading, it seems very silly to follow up with what I was going to share with you, but I'm going to say it anyway, just in case there's someone in your life that could use this information. This is the last call for the New Year solstice readings. These are special readings that have a special spread, a special function, and a special price. And I offered them to help people move forward with some really good positive knowledge in this and feeling and momentum in this new year. So I'm going to keep them up for another week. You can find out more in the description below. And I will look forward to seeing you next time and wish you luck with this process.